driver interviews, pit action, industry news. We're bringing you everything that fuels the adrenaline-pumping world of dirt track racing. Buckle up now. You're sitting with the Slimy Bastards. Take it away, Jason and Adam.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I will say this, and Kelly and I know I've talked to you a little bit about this, Adam, too, it's been like a long time dream of me doing this, and with Ryan Cartel out in Las Vegas, who kind of gave me the push on this, it's actually kind of cool to see us doing this and hearing the voices and all that through the headphones, and you really don't capture this until you actually are doing
I know.
this.
It's magical. It really is.
Yeah, magical.
So I'm sitting with the Slimy Bastards, and I'm not just being mean saying that. That's the actual title of your podcast, Sitting with the Slimy Bastards.
There's a reason behind that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about how you got that name.
So what it was is my dad, Roger Rolling, we followed racing quite a bit. My dad was really into it growing up. Obviously, he took me to all the races, and I was telling you, Adam, even when we went to Webster City last week, I haven't been here since I was with my dad.
You said it really reminded you of being there.
I've always wanted to do a podcast of music. I'm really big into metal music, different, even all genres of music, and wanted to do something with racing, whatever. And then when Dad passed away in January, I was talking with Brian Cartel from Las Vegas, and he's like, you need to really do this. And he gave me the extra push to put all this together and do it. And he goes, it has to have the name of something with Slimy Bastard, because my dad would always joke with everybody of, oh, you slimy son of a bitch, or you slimy bastard, or whatever it would be. And Dad was really always jokingly, and he's a lot like, I got a lot from him from that, of how he joked with everybody and quick-witted. And now that he's gone, you kind of realize how much you miss that.
Oh, well, don't get too emotional, because this is supposed to be fun, but I know it is emotional. It can be, yeah, and it's pretty recent. So let's talk about where we are. We're in Marshalltown, Iowa. I've never been here before. I don't know a whole lot about this stuff, but I'm here to help you guys with your podcast. So this is the beginning of the season. It's 2023's season. And tonight, the race got rained out. So that was an interesting turn of events. So you're sitting in your hotel room doing your first podcast episode. So that's exciting.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of booze cruising down in high school memory lane with Adam being my designated driver of...
Yeah.
No, that's
that.
terrible to say, but
it's true though. It's true.
We went down to Webster City last week for the USMTS race, and
you grew up near there,
right? We grew up in Clarendon. You and I, we went to school together.
Yes.
And so to kind of backtrack on some of that, we went to school together. Mm-hmm. We grew up together. You were one of my sister's friends.
Yep.
Cheerlead, all that together. So we kind of knew each other, and that's how we got together on all this. And long story short, your aunt dated my dad up till when he died.
So we're basically related.
Not
kind of.
That's but yeah, no, but I mean we grew up together, so we know you dated some of my close friends.
Yes.
We grew up together and all that, and bringing Adam into this full circle. Adam's like the gearhead of all this, but
he's the brains behind the operation.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
He's here for emotional support.
Yes.
I guess I'm here for the designated driver part of it.
Yeah, we got rained out tonight. So usually, I mean, how often does that happen? And what do the people do if it gets rained out? What's the fun thing to do on a rain day? Do they just go home? Do they pull their cars back home? What do they do then?
Well, we were just sitting at Walmart, and there's a bunch of cars sitting in the parking lot there.
Yeah.
So I take it they're going to camp out here tonight and go to Boone tomorrow. I would assume that's what they're going to do anyway.
Right.
So there's Marshalltown and Boone. They're real close together, but a day apart. So everyone who's here tonight will probably be there tomorrow night?
Along with a few others because it's Boone, but yeah.
Right.
So what's the difference between Boone and Marshalltown speedways?
First of all, it's Friday versus Saturday. So you got guys that may show up that had to work on Friday night versus Saturday night.
True. Okay.
And then them that may travel that's closer to Boone versus Marshalltown. There's a lot of varieties that go into that, and I can't speak to what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
But for us, we live in Northwood, Iowa. So we drove down here hoping to get a race in, catch up with some of the drivers, hopefully get some interviews lined up for tomorrow. And it's been fun, though. I'm glad we were able to do this. So
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're in Iowa. We're in Marshalltown tonight, Boone tomorrow. You were kind of telling me that Iowans have a little bit of an advantage in this game. So, you were saying a lot of the best drivers in the country come from Iowa. Is that correct then?
I don't know if they come from Iowa, but a lot of people come to Iowa to race with them.
Okay.
I don't know what that advantage would be, why we're so much better. I don't know if it's because we have more dirt tracks per capita than any other state. I'm not really sure why we have so many good
I think it's
here.
a combination. If you look at some of the demographics of, you got guys that grow up here around this area that grow up racing, right? And then you got the guys that grow up back west. You don't hear so many, and I could be wrong, and I'm not going to sit there and tell everybody that, you don't see too many. But you and Adam and I have had this conversation. If you don't hear too many East Coast guys have a name for themselves here in Iowa, growing in IMCA or USMTS, you do more so West Coast versus East Coast. And where I'm going with this, you take Cody Laney, Ethan Dotson, Tanner Black.
There's a Paul Stone who's out in California who's really popular.
What's Hobden or from Nevada?
Colin Hibden.
Yeah, Colin Hibden
from Nevada.
Yeah. You take some of them guys that come back here. Another one that's coming up through the ranks right now, you would take, what's his name that's driving for Sean Ritter?
The only guy from out in like New York and Pennsylvania that's I've ever really heard of is Nick Hoffman. He's really good. Drives modified. But now he was in a serious car accident, almost died, so he's recovering.
Wow.
What a downer of that deal.
That's okay.
He's back now. He's back winning.
It's real life. So you're talking about all these great racers. Do you have the same ones winning every weekend? Are they coming back every weekend and winning, or is there a variety of people who are like nailing it and coming away with that big purse at the end of it?
Well, it depends what track you go to. I mean, if it's your home track, you can have guys that win 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row.
Okay.
Boone is not usually a repeat winner very often because it's Boone.
Yeah.
Marshalltown, there's a lot of the same winners. A couple times we come here a year. So,
okay.
I mean, it would depend on where you go.
And so
I think it varies on what kind of race you're talking about, though. You take a big money race that's involved where there's a lot of money that guys will travel to, you're going to have a different showing on that race versus a night like tonight in Marshalltown. And what I mean by that is you got a USMTS race that's close in Kansas right now.
Kansas City.
Versus Marshalltown. So you got some of these high, what my dad would say, heavy hitters that will travel to where the money is going. And you're going to have your promoter saying, oh, that's not the case. Well, it is the case. You and Adam and I know this. You got guys that are going to follow where you got a $10,000 purse on the line versus a $1,000 purse. Where are you going to go? you're talking maybe a 4 or 5 hour difference. You're going to go where the $10,000 is versus $1,000.
And you were talking about that MTS race. That's not the only one going on. There's one in Rock Rapids. There's also one in at Spring Fling in Denison, which was big money. So if you start spreading out those IMCA cars, you don't know what show is going to be good and what show is not going to be real. I mean, what's going to be competitive, what's not.
Right.
Yeah, I'm curious what happens after the win, though. I've heard like the pit parties, the racing lifestyle is pretty crazy. So is that true? Like after someone has a big win, what happens after that?
It depends on who it is.
Exactly.
And what I mean by that is I was out in Las Vegas at the Dual End Desert, and I'll never forget this as long as I live, is I went out and Ethan Dotson's parked up with Austin Kiefer. Turns 3 and 4. They have their own pits out there. They're the only ones out in turns 3 and 4. They have a 3 or 4 bar stools or bar tables up in the turns with carpet laid out, bar stools up, a full-on fucking bar. Music, Post Malone playing and Drake.
Nice.
And it was like, I called it Club Dotson out there. I came back. Remember I told you, Adam.
You did.
I came back and I was like, dude, it's like Club Dotson out in Vegas.
I think your exact words were, we need to go back out.
Yeah. It was fun because, and what I mean by this is you take a lot of these guys, they go out, if you go down into the pits and you hang out with some of these guys, they treat you like family. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter who you are. Almost 95% of them are going to treat you like family. Mm-hmm. Especially if you have kids, they're going to open up, give you a pit, what they call them, hero cards. Autographs. They'll let the kids sit in the cars. It doesn't matter what car it is. And that's what the sport's all about. That's what I grew up with, and that's the way it is even today.
Well, I mean, proof of that is how many hero cards are in the visor of my car.
Right.
On the way down.
Right.
I mean,
and we were talking about that on the way here. And that's what means a lot, because you take my little boy Maverick and you take my oldest son Caleb. I mean, he'll even tell you to this day he remembers even doing all that.
Wow.
And Maverick even now is when he's playing out in his mud box with his race cars, he's racing with Braxton, Tanner, and all of them, and he's like the commentary of the whole race of.
Last night we went to Elgona, and one of the racers' kids and Nate, were sitting on the row behind us playing with race cars, and whatever number it was, that's who their favorite or whoever they remember it is. So yeah, it's kind of same. Yeah,
and I grew up with that. My dad, that's one thing I could say. Me and my dad were close about, and that's what we're passionate about, and I hope to carry that along with my kids.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Adam, you've been to a lot of races. Last year, you went to 148 races in the year. That's incredible. Do you want to beat that goal this year?
I don't know if I can, but if we can, that'd be awesome.
So what's the most memorable one or two that you went to last year?
I don't know about memorable, but one of the best racetracks we went to was Eagle Raceway out in Eagle, Nebraska. I love that racetrack.
What was so great about that?
It's just good racing. It's just a fun track. It's just really good. I like it.
He got really drunk.
Yeah, right. That's you.
You actually know out there in Eagle, Nebraska, they actually have non-drinking sections out there. Only track I've
That's
ever
where
been.
Adam was.
The only track I've been to that has non-drinking sections.
That's why he likes his favorite track. See,
well, that's nice.
That's what's going to make this podcast great, because we're two opposites that can make each other laugh. And I'm not shitting you. We work together. We can make each other laugh. We were at the Christmas party.
Oh, no.
I'm tanked up. I've had probably about, what would you say, Adam? Probably 6 or 7 Jack and Cokes in.
At least, yeah.
Our plant manager, mic stand, is right in front of our table.
Well, that's never good.
And they give us these sacks.
Gift bags.
Gift bags.
Yes.
And it's this cheap fucking hat that's like you'd find at a dollar store. And what else was there?
There was a shirt and
no, there wasn't even a
I
shirt.
thought there was a shirt in there.
No, there was no shirt.
Oh no, we got those little tumbler mugs. And
Yeah,
then
tumbler mug. That's probably the best thing of the whole thing.
Yeah, and then there was a cheap little like I don't know what you want to call them, the squeeze bottles with the pop top.
It is a rain poncho. I don't know, but anyway,
No, you bought those. You bought those.
yeah, I was sucker down at Disney World that bought them damn things for $20 a pop.
So if
Kids
anyone,
sitting in the gift shop, and then we wait out the rainstorms. $80 later, here we are. Fucking put the rain ponchos in the fucking backpack. We'll never wear them again. I'm going to sell them at the Boone Nationals this year.
if we put IMCA Racing on the back,
Yeah.
drunk people will buy them.
Maybe if Brett Root signed them, we'll fucking get some money out of them. I don't know.
Maybe we should just give them away as gifts. If anyone listens to our podcast, they probably deserve a poncho.
Merch.
Donald
Merch
Duck and
idea.
Mickey Mouse on the back of it.
Like I said, you put IMCA on the front, drunk people will buy it.
I'll even personally sign it. Slimy bastard Jason. Here we go.
Oh my goodness. You guys are so much fun.
But no, so anyway, I'm giving this stuff, they're giving us this stuff at the Christmas party.
Oh, back to this. We're not done
no,
yet.
I wasn't done yet. So I turned to Adam. He's sitting there. His mom works with us, right?
Well,
You
there was like six. I think there was 6 or 7 of us at the table.
Yeah, Trent, who I work with, and
then,
if he was here, he'd have a ball with him. But
Yeah.
um,
And then the Kelly, not Boss Kelly, but RF Kelly.
yeah, and Adam and his mom works with us. I seen this bag, and I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I said to Adam, I said, "Jesus Christ, how cheap can they get? Wait till I see fucking Mayor, who's our HR guy."
Yeah, but didn't you go to Kincaid?
Great guy. Well, yeah, Mark Kincaid, who
He
our
was our
plant
plant
manager,
manager,
at the time was our plant manager, and so I went up to him and I said to Adam, I said, "Watch this." Mark comes up to grab the mic, and I said, "Hey, Mark, I want to tell you something. From my family to yours, I want to give you a nice Christmas gift." And he goes, "Oh yeah, what's that?" I said, "Here you go, buddy."
He hands him the bag. He hands him the
I
bag
handed
that
him the
they had at
bag
every
that
seat.
they gave us.
That Christmas party was
Yeah.
just yeah. The only good part about it was the food.
But the best part, though, is Mark was like, "Oh, thank you." He's like, "Thank you." Gives me a handshake and all, like he's all proud of what I'm about ready to give him. And here it is, his own fucking gift bag of his cheap shit.
He was really proud of you for a second. You were gonna win.
I was going to make him and his family proud of what I'm giving them from my family to his.
You were about ready to win Employee of the Month.
Yeah. In his eyes.
Well, we don't have that program, so.
Till he seen what he got, then that crushed his dreams. Here I sit in a fucking flush cell.
Well, I seen the look on his face when he seen what was in there and how disappointed he was. So that tells you those gifts were crappy.
His exact words was, "Fuck you." So if that doesn't tell you what kind of Christmas gifts, here I am.
So you asked what we do when it rains and we're at a racetrack. This is what we do. This is what we do.
Actually, the correct response was we would have turned around and went home.
Except I was on my way here. So
Yeah,
yes.
and we were starting this, and we needed help, and
Yes, you guys need a lot of help. Not
Well,
just with the podcast.
not yeah, that's mental help. My parents had me tested. They told me there's no help for me. They told me.
Back to the race car driver that we were talking to, that we were like, we couldn't figure out who it was. Dylan Thornton.
Hey, that's it.
Dylan Thornton.
Drives a 38T.
Yeah.
So I've heard.
Owned by Sean Ritter.
Yes.
Okay.
He's
So-
dating Sean's daughter.
Exactly. And I will say this, I've known Sean for a couple of years. Fantastic guy. He owned a hay grinder. hay grinder business where you go out and grind the hay and all that.
A hay grinder business where you go grind the hay?
Yeah,
That's what it's called. Hay grinder.
His nickname is Hay Grinder.
Okay.
Phenomenal driver. Like, he was top notch here in Iowa for quite a while. That could be debatable, I'm sure. You get some people on here that'll be like, "Oh, I debate that," but fuck you. And
to be completely honest, I mean, you read that Kelly Sharrock thing earlier today,
right?
How many wins did he have? 600 in the USMTS car.
I don't know. At some point,
I'm just saying though, people would debate he's not the best at USMTS.
Yeah.
Well, 600 wins, 9 championships. Maybe he is the best at it. But.
Yeah. All I could say to that is they call him like a legend, like we heard down in Webster City, and rightfully so. And you're going to have that debate no matter who you talk to. And our podcast isn't about who's the best of the best or anything like that. I don't give 2 fucks what you done. We're just here to have a good time and talk about racing, and here we are.
And some of it is, what have you done for me lately, not what have you done in the past. I mean, that's kind of what the series has become, or the IMCA has become.
Right.
What have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
I totally forgot what I was going to ask next.
We were sitting on a towel, so I don't blame you. I got some money spinners here if you want to scratch them off. I was feeling pretty lucky. We stopped at Casey's on the way back from the restaurant, and I told Adam, I'm feeling pretty lucky. I'm going to buy a couple of money spinners. And I said, I told the lady, I said, mind if I steal a penny from you? And Adam's like, just take a penny of mine. I ain't going to jail for a penny. Now he hands me a fucking quarter.
Can you handle something that big?
Yeah, obviously you can't, but...
You work on the money spinners. I'm going to ask a couple more questions. So
you'll be laughing when I went up to, what is it, 30,000?
It was 30,000.
Yeah.
And you're buying a trailer. You're buying a trailer.
But this podcast, it's going to be mostly racing, but you're going to bring a few other elements of stuff you like to have fun with too into the show, like music and things like that, right? You're going to have some musicians on.
My diehard, like, I'm a big music guy. I love music, all genres of music. My forte is obviously metal, hair metal. Obviously, you're going to have them guys that debate of thrash metal. You and I know this because we grew up with this together.
Yep.
I don't care what kind of metal it is. I love all of it. And I'm very, very, very passionate about that. And in some of these down months that we're not doing racing, or even during the race and stuff, I want to bring up some additional guests on music, and Jason Slutenhofer in Clarion, Iowa, that I grew up with, who got me into a lot of it, along with Brian Busick, who's no longer with us. Them 2 guys got me into music and introduced me to a lot of the big name music guys and managers and that. And I was fortunate enough to capitalize on that, where I went into a lot of the music business stuff with Roadrunner Records and did a lot of street stuff, team stuff with them. And so I want to tie some of that into this. And it'll be interesting to see, like, that's going to be one of my questions on a lot of these drivers of almost every driver I'm going to interview. I'm going to ask them what's their music forte.
Oh yeah, because are they listening to music while the race is going on, or no?
No, it's way too loud for that. But some of them have music they listen to pump themselves up.
Yes.
For a race. But
okay.
Not during the race. It's just too loud.
Yeah, I figured that was it.
All got,
I know. Adam here is a big Jeremy Mills fan.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. I mean, that's your favorite driver.
One of them, yeah.
One of them, along with Kevin Opine and all that. Yeah. But, I mean, you take those are different classes.
Correct.
Modified, Jeremy Mills is probably your favorite driver, right?
By far, yeah.
For me, I would say growing up and watching Dad and Justin Yeager, the Yeager boys now, Justin no longer races. He does every once in a while. Along with Ethan Dotson, Tanner Black. I grew up with all them guys of watching my dad and them, but if you take music side of that and you take Adam and what he watches with Jeremy Mills, he's a big ABBA fan.
For real? That was the long story to get to that. You knew that was going to...
I knew where I was going
You
with
knew
that,
it.
and that's why I did that.
the whole way.
You've never hung out with us. How do you know what we listen to?
Because
It was
that's where I
all
was
for
going.
that moment. He's a big ABBA fan.
And you know what? People listening to this right now are going to be like, holy shit, where's he going with this? Like, is Jeremy Mills a big AC/DC fan, Metallica fan? ABBA. Really? ABBA.
Maybe we
Jeremy,
listen, maybe we listen to Celine Dion. You have no idea.
People are going to go, I'm curious to see who listens to this and be like, go up to Jeremy Mills. So you're a big ABBA fan, huh?
You're trying to get him to not come on our show, aren't you?
No, that's not the case at all. And I will say this: Jeremy's been a big supporter of the Salute to Veterans, and that's we're doing that memorial race to my dad's name, Salute to Veterans, out in Rock Springs, Wyoming.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about that, just so people know what's going on?
Yeah.
So we're doing that at the end of the month, Memorial Day weekend. The Roger Rolene Salute to Veterans. All the money that we raised, that we're selling T-shirts. My sister's done up some bands, wristbands. We done up limited edition. There's only 2 of them. Canvas prints. My dad and some of the racing scenes and all that, and all the drivers that are going to be in Rock Springs, Wyoming, are going to sign that canvas print, and we're going to auction 2 of them off. And
Who are some of the drivers that are going to be there?
I know the Yeager brothers will be there. Obviously, that's their home track. Ethan Dotson has said that he's going to try to make it out there, depending on if he can find a car to drive. Honestly, my dad lived in Idaho for 20-some years. We were born and raised in Iowa here, but we lived out in Idaho for a little bit. And that was one of his favorite tracks. So if we were going to honor my dad's name, and my dad was a Vietnam vet, we were going to do that along with in Rock Springs, Wyoming, with that name and all that.
Yeah.
And just because it's a big track and it's an awesome track, it's a fast track. All them guys love it, and that's why we're doing it.
Yeah.
And but it's over Memorial Day weekend. The T-shirts, the bracelets we sell, that canvas print that we auction off. And I think there's a couple other things that I know Kara's talked about, the track promoter, that's going to help us out.
Yeah.
Anyway, that money's going to go to the Salute to Veterans, which is a big IMCA deal that they do in July here.
Every year they pick 4 modifieds, 4 stock cars, 4 sport mods,
Yep.
and they take the cars and actually wrap them, and the drivers don't get to see them until a couple hours before the race.
Right.
In
Wow.
Spencer.
Right.
That's
and so Lisa Lundy, who we grew up with, Chris Lundy, my best friend, her husband did up a graphic design of my dad of a Vietnam picture.
Oh, wow.
And then tied that in with Braxton's race car number and everything. And he's running that out there in Wyoming for that weekend. And as an honor for that as well. But it's the big thing with this is my dad followed racing. He's a Vietnam vet, and we tried, my sister and my brother and I, we tried to find something that was that would represent him well. And this was the best thing because it tied racing and it was a military honor as well. And I think it's 92 or 93% of the proceeds go back to that foundation.
Wow. That's great.
Versus you take some of these that are 60, 50 that go to administration
Right.
to
And that's
the
based
cause.
right here in Iowa.
Right, yeah,
Don't remember
it's-
exactly the town. It's over in Lakota or something like that.
I'm not for sure.
It's over over west.
Right. I know the guy that I've been in contact. Jeremy Mills set me up with that guy, and he's out of North Carolina. They do the Hunting for Heroes, the Salute to Veterans. It's all the same deal.
Yeah.
Bottom line is we wanted to focus in on what was our bang for a dollar, and this was the best bet because it tied in racing along with veterans.
Absolutely.
And Jeremy has been phenomenal as a supporter with that. And I can't wait to get him on this podcast just because of that, just to feel him out on some of this and get his thoughts on some of the, because I got some questions on him for that. But yeah, I can't wait to get him on for that.
Well, he was a big supporter, such big supporter that they chose him last year and this year to be a Salute the Veteran driver again. So that's 2 years in a row.
Right.
So if people want to join you for your dad's event, can they still come, or are there tickets, or how do they get details on that?
So, I mean, it's out in Rock Springs, Wyoming at the Sweetwater Speedway. I know it's in Wyoming, but honestly, it's an awesome track. I mean, I was telling Adam about this the other day, is you're going to get racing out there that's 3 at sometimes 4 wide racing. And you don't see that a lot, especially in here, because you get a lot of 1-2-way racing, 2-lane racing, I should say.
You get those dry slick tracks,
Right.
and it's one groove around the bottom.
Right.
Or around the top, wherever.
Yeah.
Wherever. Right.
And you don't see a lot of that. And even in, in Idaho Falls, you've seen sometimes that 3-wide racing. That's a fast track up there as well, and that's where Dad and I lived for quite a while. But Rock Springs is a huge track. It's a fast track, and like Braxton said, that's why he grew up there, but it's a fast track. And I think even Tanner will tell you to this day it's one of his fastest tracks. I could be wrong, but I know he said that in the past.
Well, I'm super excited to go somewhere where we're going to see more than just one groove around the bottom.
Well, yeah, you get out of Iowa, and you'd be surprised what you get, Adam.
I've been to a lot of states, sir. I've been to a lot of states.
Nebraska doesn't count, buddy.
No, you're right, it doesn't. You're right. It doesn't. Well, how about the other states I've been to? You don't go to 148 races and stay in one state.
No, that's why... Kelly, you asked me earlier why I brought Adam, why I chose Adam to bring that in. The reason being is me and him, we always talked racing at work. And I told him before I even thought of this, of doing this podcast, I wanted to bring him on just because he knew the ins and outs of a lot of the local, but I know a lot of the West Coast guys. And we've said this before, haven't we?
We have. And I think actually when we first met, it's when we were taking the kids to school.
That could have been, because I was wearing an Ethan Dodson shirt.
And you approached me because I was wearing a Mill shirt.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that's actually how we actually started to meet.
Yeah.
And then you started working there. And
Yep. Go ahead and grab your mic there, Kelly.
you can join us now. You can join us now.
She's raiding her Snapchat from who you got there? Jason Jones of She looks at me like, "How dare you?" I want you to edit that in because I'm going to send that to that.
Are there any single racing guys that I can have?
I'm sure there are, Kelly. If you hang around Adam long enough, you'll find out. Are you looking for
drivers or podcasters? Because there's a podcaster that's single. I'm just saying.
Okay, I was thinking drivers, but
he's sitting here with the 10 mil shirt on.
Okay, about 9 times out of 10, I will have a Mills Racing shirt on, and the other day I wear an Opime shirt.
Well, that's one point. You're a sponsor. You didn't say that earlier, right? Are you kind of a sponsor? Or
not kind of, I am. But
yeah. Okay. How does that work? You just give them money, and how does it work? And what does it go for? Like cost of maintenance, or just everything like that?
It could be for whatever they want to spend it on.
Yeah.
Like the one that Kevin Opime was talking about. He's going to put our podcast on the back of his race car.
Oh, great. Exciting. So you guys have stickers yet?
We do.
I ordered a couple from our lady in Mason.
Nice.
Where that driver gets all his stuff. Mm-hmm. We called her, got a couple ordered. Once he gets his new race car done, they'll be on his new race car.
Nice,
And then I think it's 200 or 250 of them being done up. of our logo
awesome.
and that from Pit Stop Motorsports out in
Nice.
Rock Springs, Wyoming.
Were we still thinking about giving it to the drivers that we interview? Or is that kind of still the
Yeah,
plan,
and then
or-
along with whoever wants to put them up, I mean, I'm just gonna hand them out to guys who just throw them up on a fucking wall. Who cares? You know,
Yeah,
I want them to
yeah.
put them on something that's gonna mean something.
Right.
Yeah.
But the Pit Stop Motorsports out in Rock Springs, they do wraps. A lot of they could order a lot of engine stuff, whatever. They done T-shirt apparel for what my dad Memorial Race is doing.
Yeah.
But they're doing up these podcast logos as well for us for our stickers as well, and we'll have them here shortly. But they've done a lot of good stuff for us, and along with Damon, who you were asking me about my dad's T-shirt work, right, Kelly?
Yep.
Damon Jennings, who Lisa's married to, Lisa Lundy, did all the graphic work for us, and who's done phenomenal stuff with dog imagery
Oh, wow.
and all that. But he did some stuff up for the band Slaughter. And you and I have
Slaughter.
talked about this
Yes.
before.
Yes, I loved Slaughter.
And I'm in tight with them guys. I shouldn't say tight, but I'm in good enough for them where I could show up to a show and they're going to let me in with
Yeah.
passes and all that.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most memorable times I've ever had was at the Iowa State Fair. I was with my wife and my 2 kids, and it took a little bit of time, but once they got all settled and everything, we were the only ones that were allowed backstage with them guys.
Wow.
And got a group photo with all the band and all them guys. Autographs, pics, phenomenal with my kids and everything.
That's awesome.
And it's funny how that all comes around. Like, you stop and think about how that relationship started. And it started with their bus was broke down in Idaho.
What?
And I had a little S10 pickup, and I went through the medium. I seen the tour bus broke down. I was like, God, that's got to be the guys at Slaughter. So I went around in the medium, went back around, went back through the medium, turned back around, and came up to them. And here's Mark Slaughter standing out on the side of the bus. And Kelly, I know you're a diehard Mark Slaughter fan.
I had oh my God, the biggest crush on him when I was
remember
younger.
that in high school.
Oh, yeah. That was one of many of the like rock metal musicians I was in love with. But yeah, he was.
Because you
I
and I
loved
have
him.
talked about this earlier before.
Yeah, I
we
was
were
like,
talking about
set
this.
me up with Mark Slaughter, make my dreams come true.
So anyway, Mark Slaughter standing there, and I was like, holy shit, it's the guys at Slaughter. And I was going to their show. And so I was like, you guys need a ride or what's going on here? And they're like, oh, Dana Strum, the bass player, is like, our bus broke down. And so I said, well, here, I could give you guys a ride. We're about 5 miles from Pocatello, Idaho. So I had Dana, and keep in mind, this is a 1985 S10 pickup. This is in 1996, okay? I have me driving, Dana Strum, the bass player, Mark Slaughter in the front cab. It's a 4-speed stick shift.
What?
I have Blas Ellis and Tim Kelly, the guitar player and the drummer, in the back of the pickup. We're driving to Pocatello, Idaho. I'm gearing in between Dana Strum's fucking crotch. And in my mind, I'm like, 3 or 4 years ago, women would have died to be in my position right now, like
Yes.
you are right now, Kelly.
I'm in the presence of greatness.
Yeah, I'd go that far. But
She
anyway,
wanted the S10 pickup, not you.
yeah, exactly.
Oh God.
But no, so I took him to the hotel, got him checked in and all that. And Tim Kelly goes, we're going to go down to the bar. You want to come with us? And at that time, I was 20 years old. And I was like, yeah, I'll go down there with you. And So I went down there. They still served me.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You weren't old enough.
Yeah, I wasn't old enough. But
you were with the band.
Yeah. And I was with Tim, and I have a picture of Tim and Bloss at that bar at that time.
So they just, if you're with the band, it's a party. You can do what you want.
I don't know. They didn't even ask. Like, I just had a Bud Light.
Yeah.
It was a draft Bud Light. It was a cool, surreal moment because to this day they still talk about that. And so when I ever go around them guys, and Jeff Conan, their road manager, has been really, really cool with me. I've come to all their shows that's been local, and they still remember it to this day.
I bet they do.
And it's been cool. It's kind of full circle, which Mark Slaughter actually was into a little bit of street racing as well.
Was he? Oh, wow. It comes full circle. So you guys have a Facebook page, you're on YouTube, and a podcast. Obviously, that's what people are listening to. So everyone can find you at The Slimy Bastards for the most part. I think your Facebook is Sitting with the Slimy Bastards. YouTube is The Slimy Bastards. So we'll have links to all of that in the show notes.
And it's no disrespect whatsoever.
You guys are slimy bastards, though.
Yeah, I mean,
totally.
It went off the nickname of what my dad started. Mm-hmm. And I told Adam, I said, if you're going to come on with me with this is the name it's got to be. Ryan Cartel actually had a lot to do with that. Mm-hmm. But it's just in remembrance of my dad's name. He kind of joked and had fun with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. It's fun. It's going to be fun. All right.
This has been fun.
Yeah.
It's been really cool of putting this all together.
Yeah. You have anything to add or anything else, you guys? Anywhere you're going to be?
Adam's just counting the fucking, what do they call that? Popcorn?
Yeah.
Come on, Kelly. You watch
popcorn ceiling.
Yeah, popcorn ceiling tiles in the fucking ceiling here.
There's 141 of them.
Yes. Okay.
Here we are in Marshalltown, Iowa. We got 141 popcorn ceilings waiting for the race in Boone, Iowa with IMCA.
Yeah, this is what happens when it gets rained
So
out.
maybe they should stop canceling them, and maybe they should start racing boats.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's either that or you get this. It's either that.
So you guys are going to release your podcast probably once a week, every week probably.
That's our goal. We want to release at least one or two a week.
Okay.
And bring on drivers and just have fun like what we are right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be.
So everybody needs to like and subscribe to the show and give Adam and Jason a 5-star review and rating because it helps the show. All right.
Yeah, God, listen to her voice. She's like a pro at this. You can tell
It's like she's been doing it for a while or something.
You would think.
Yeah.
She's never even been to, I was hoping she would catch in a race. So can we go back and
we can go back, of course. Yeah.
So my dad dated your aunt.
Yes. That's what happened.
And we had this conversation.
We're basically related.
Yeah, and somewhat.
So you're brother and sister from different mothers?
I mean,
no. That's a fucking stretch.
It would be it'd be kind of like being step cousins.
In a way.
That's not even a thing.
If you're Jerry Lee Lewis.
If you're Jerry. Yes. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not getting into all that shit. But, no, but anyway, my dad dated your aunt. Mm-hmm. Long story short.
Yes, that's the long story short.
And Shirley's been great. She never even knew racing until she met my dad.
Yeah.
And she went to a couple races, and I was actually at her first race that she went to, which was in Spencer, Iowa.
Oh, nice.
Which was with Tanner and Kelsey, Tanner Black and Kelsey Foley. And right away, she's like, oh, my God, I had no clue this is what this was like. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she followed it even till this day, she still sends me texts on who's done what and where Tanner, where Braxton, all them guys have come up, because she knows I'll follow it, and she still follows it. But it's kind of funny how this all came together with us. And I've known Kelly for years. Since what? When did you move to Clarion? 3rd grade?
I was in 2nd grade.
2nd grade.
Yep.
And so right away, your dad was the airport manager.
He was, yes. Yep, my dad.
He was
You have an
out there
airport in
with the
Clarion?
red lights, flashing them in.
You have an airport in Clarion?
It's not like the Northwood one where the casino spends $30,000 on runway lights for people that aren't flying in, but
That's because we're special. That's 'cause we're special. The vet flies in and out. That's all you need to know.
The vet flies
I need
in and out.
another Jack and Coke.
He goes-
And we're not even done.
Well, I think we should probably wrap it up. We've been talking a long time. Until next time.
This is Jason,
I'm Adam.
and you're sitting with the slimy bastards.
Oh!